Hello and welcome to this edition of the G24 Newsroom. Let us go straight now to our headlines. UK politics. Rishi Sunak, former runner-up to Liz Truss, is officially the new Prime Minister in the UK. Now in Gabon diplomacy, country flag, the green, yellow and blue was raised this October at Commonwealth Secretary General. Health still in Gabon. From October saw the celebration of Pink October by Gabonese health authorities. Well, let us open this program straight with politics. Again, in the UK, MP and businessman Rishi Sunak has officially become British Prime Minister on October 24th, after other candidates quit the race to lead the Conservative Party, leaving him with the task of steering a deeply divided country through an economic downturn set to leave millions of people poorer. Details in this report by Vanessa Tsogu.
Rishi Sunak, one of the wealthiest politicians in Westminster, will be asked to form a government by King Charles, replacing Liz Truss, the outgoing leader who only lasted 44 days in the job. Sunak's only challenger, Penny Mountford, leader of the House of Commons and former defense minister, was reportedly backed by 30 MPs compared with nearly 150 supporting Sunak. Mordaunt said in a statement as she withdrew from the race, "This decision is an historic one and shows once again the diversity and talent of our party. Rishi has my full support." It was minutes before the winner was due to be announced. His only other rival, the former Prime Minister Boris Johnson, also withdrew from the contest, saying he could no longer unite the party. Sunak, the 42-year-old former finance minister, becomes Britain's third prime minister in less than 2 months, tasked with restoring stability to a country reeling from years of political and economic turmoil. Sunak came to national attention when, aged 39, he became finance minister under Johnson, just as COVID-19 pandemic hit Britain, developing the successful For All scheme. The former Goldman Sachs analyst would be the United Kingdom's first prime minister of Indian origin. His family migrated to Britain in the 1960s, a period when many people from Britain's former colonies moved to the country to help it rebuild after the Second World War. After graduating from Oxford University, he went to Stanford University, where he met his wife Akshata Murthy, whose father is Indian billionaire Narayana Murthy, founder of outsourcing giant Infosys Ltd.
Well, to discuss this news, I receive here Ralph Obonja, a specialist of British civilization and lecturer at the ENS and the Omar Bongo University. Hello, Ralph.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, so you just saw the report we just, aired right now.
Okay.
Let's go straight to, the subject. Rishi Sunak is the new Prime Minister. He's replacing Liz Truss, who did less than 2 months in power. How can we explain this?
Of course, thank you for your question. Of course, Rishi Sunak has become the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He has replaced Liz Truss to the job because she had become unpopular among the Tory MPs and the British public. Downfall came with a series of measures, economic measures, that she outlined or implemented to revive the British economy. Unfortunately, those measures caused turmoil on the market and caused also a fall in the value of the pound.
But some say that Sunak, having been a member of Boris Johnson's government, is partly responsible for the current economic crisis. Do you think that he has the weapons to reverse the situation?
I would say that the economic crisis that the UK faced, or is facing, is due to many factors.
Because he was a finance minister in the government of Boris Johnson.
Yes, of course, he was. And I was saying the economic crisis that the United Kingdom is facing is due to some factors, external and internal factors. Dealing with internal factors, we have the Brexit. external factors, we have the COVID-19 and the war in Ukraine. And as Boris Johnson's Chancellor of the Exchequer, or Ministry of Finance, Rishi Sunak was very competent. He was a competent chancellor.
So you think he has a good assessment as a minister?
He is competent and he is capable of changing things. He's even so competent that he was the one who warned the British public of the catastrophic outcomes of Liz Truss's economic strategy.
Okay, so now, what can we say, sorry to disturb you, what can we say about the many shifts that recently happened on top of the UK? We had the death of the Queen, now we have prime ministers, we had Boris Johnson after Liz Truss, and now we have Rishi Sunak. Is the UK in a bad period? Can the Britons make it work?
Yes, I would say this concerning your question. The Queen died. It's in the normal course of life. People live and they die. She
was 96.
Yeah, and it was quite normal. She was replaced by her son, King Charles III, who was taken over. And so far, everything is normal. Concerning the 3 prime ministers in just 2 months, we can say that it's normally a good thing. It's normal. It just shows how well democracy is doing in the United Kingdom.
But the UK is not known to be that unstable.
I understand, but it is democracy.
We had Margaret Thatcher, she did more than 15 years. Course. We have Boris Johnson, we are used to long periods of reign.
Yeah,
so
but the British people, they are tough. They are strict in the choice of their leaders. Boris Johnson, for example, had ethics-related issues. He had to resign.
Okay.
Liz Truss wasn't fitted to the job. She had to quit. Now it's Rishi Sunak's turn, and the British people will judge his premiership. If he is not equal to the job, they will get rid of him. Yes, okay. They will get rid of him.
I want us to come back to Gabon now.
Of course.
The Gabonese flag raising ceremony at the Commonwealth Secretary General. The event took place in October, as we said, at the headquarters of the Intergovernmental Institution in London. It was in the presence of the President of the Republic, Ali Bongo Ondimba, and the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Patricia Scotland. Bienvenue, Minko and Thibaut Tungu-Tawaga, in this report.
Okay.
On Monday, 17th October 2022, at the headquarters of the Commission in London, for the first time in history, the sound of the national anthem, La Concorde, the Gabonese flag was hoisted alongside the flag of this intergovernmental organization of nearly 2.5 billion inhabitants.
Gabon has really stood with us because Gabon, I think, has heard our calls for change. And Gabon understood that working and acting as one people, one family, we can make a difference and a different future. And your decision to want to be part of this was one we rejoice at and welcomed. And we are all delighted, the whole Commonwealth family, who you see before you here, just behind you, are celebrating with us. Because Gabon's entry has been an incredible journey. We have worked it together, all of us, and that journey to entry is at an end.
The symbolic act of this day reinforces the leadership and position of our country on the international diplomatic scene.
We believe strongly that the Commonwealth family of nations is a unique and varied community of countries that share common values and whose diversity represents a formidable melting pot of ideas and solutions. Whether it is sustainable development, caring for the oceans, solving climate change, the circular economy, education, science, promoting democracy and women's and children's rights, stopping the extinction and pollution crisis, or celebrating humanity's cultures and differences, the Commonwealth is a world leader.
With this ceremony, Gabon is opening a new chapter in its history. Today, the nation is confirming its commitment to the diversification of partners and the defense of values conducive to the development of the people of our country and of all the peoples of this community of 56 independent and sovereign states.
Well, Mr. Obonja, Ali Bongo finally made it. It was one of his main political goals, the flag of Gabon being raised at the Commonwealth headquarters. But what does it mean now for the country in concrete terms?
I would say that Gabon became the 55th member of the Commonwealth on the 25th of June 2022, following approval of Commonwealth leaders during the Commonwealth head of states meeting in Kigali. And the flag raising here that we've just seen is the logical consequence of that approval. The ceremony led by President Ali Bongo Ondimba and the Secretary General of the Commonwealth is just to show that the country has entered the Commonwealth officially. It is something that shows the end of the membership process. So it's done with membership. Now we are integrated fully into the Commonwealth.
Okay, that's
family.
amazing. Thank you, Mr. Ralph Obonja, for having been here. We hope to have you again, maybe next month, for the G24 Newsroom.
Thank you for having me, and see you next time. Okay,
now we're going straight to some news of the month in health. Now, still in Gabon, the 9th edition of October Rose, or Pink October, opened at the beginning of October in Libreville under the theme, Women's Cancer is a Good Screening that can save lives. More in this report from Davila Obula and Maria Mbina.
The rain was not an obstacle for them. Determined to fight against breast and cervical cancer, women without distinction were present here at the Pink October village.
I think we have made a lot of progress. You have seen the fitness club in action. I invite all women to come and be screened and take part in the different activities.
Here at the Pink October village, everything was set up to further arouse the interest of women. Awareness-raising stand, screening stand, stand for nutritional advice, TV and radio shows, not forgetting the much sought after fitness stand. Before our course, the medical parameters are taken.
It is a good thing because it is the first time that women with disabilities participate in this kind of initiative. I feel blessed and honored.
Launched in Gabon in 2013 by the Sylvia Bongo Ondimba Foundation, the Pink October campaign is an opportunity to strengthen awareness-raising, prevention and detection activities throughout the country and to continue the progress made in the fight against female cancers.
We come to mobilize the population about sporting activities, but also to encourage people to eat well. As we commonly say, a healthy mind in a healthy body.
Screening is free and 100% covered during the whole month of October. Appointment in public health structures and accessible to every woman over 25 years old.
Okay, now I receive on this platform Vanessa Tsogu. She's a journalist from our newsroom. Hello, Vanessa.
Hi, Anne.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
So good. Okay, now we're talking about Pink October. So how can this edition be described for this year, 2022, compared to last year's campaign, for instance?
Yes, the Sylvia Bongo Ondimba Foundation launched the Pink October campaign in Gabon since 2013, and this campaign sees the mobilization of a growing number of women, and through the years we can notice a rising trend. And yes, this year's campaign was quite a success in terms of mobilization of women, and even the civil society was involved, and throughout the city of Libreville, we saw the implication of a large number of men and women in what we call the pink fitness. So yes, we can say that the mobilization was quite strong.
Okay, you talk about the pink fitness.
Yeah.
So this year they made a kind of connection between diet and sports. Do you think that it can really help in the fight against women's cancer?
Yes, there is an adage that says that prevention is better than cure. And according to health experts, a sedentary lifestyle and a bad diet are factors that increase the risk of cancer. So that's why health authorities in Gabon thought about this theme for this 2022 campaign, and to say that to raise awareness on these risks, and also to say that a good diet and a healthy lifestyle and sport, the practice of sport, a regular practice of sport, are together a good prevention tool to fight against cancer.
Okay. Now, the awareness campaign against female cancers was supposed to end on October 31st, but it has been extended until November 15 in Gabon. Let us listen to the minister, Dr. Guy-Patrick Obiandong, about it.
Cancer prevention is not expensive. It is just taking care of yourself. It's having a healthy lifestyle. On the other hand, the cancer treatment cost is extremely expensive, with all the chemotherapy, psychological follow-up, and cancer social impact. So it is really better to put in place a prevention policy, as we are doing, by raising awareness as much as possible and assuring that these people don't feel ill. The month of October is just an intensified awareness raising action month, and we have extended the October Rose campaign by 15 days, which will end on 15 November.
Okay, now we are in the month of November. Pink October has now given way to Blue November, a month dedicated to the fight against male cancers. Men often say they are neglected compared to women. Can we say in Gabon that it is a reality?
I don't think it's a reality. Maybe it's the feeling of men, but no, because health authorities, they think about everybody. And there is a fact is that men are afraid of getting screened because,
because of the way they do that.
The rectal inspection. But no, you mustn't be afraid, you know, because this campaign is for you. As you said, after the Pink October, there is the Blue November, and Blue November is for you men. So don't be afraid of getting screened. And health experts say also that if you have a problem with the rectal inspection, you can have a blood sample, and then
So we can avoid that
there is a way of avoiding.
Okay, because that's what maybe men don't like about it.
Yeah, so don't say that you are neglected. It's yourself that, you know, you go out of the way.
Okay, so Vanessa Sogo, thank you for coming. So we're waiting for you maybe next month. So
thank you.
Okay, now we're going to talk about sports. Now we're discussing sports. As I said before, the 23 residents of the Gabonese Panthers Dan Semen for the two friendly matches with Sierra Leone and Niger scheduled for the 17th and the 20th of November are finally gathered together. They are led by the coach Patrice Neveu of the national football team. More in this element from Andy Esono Obian and Akenenge.
Patrice Neveu, the national coach, and his men are making their comeback on the international scene with two friendly matches during the next international window of the FIFA. It is against Sierra Leone on November 17th and Niger on November 20th in Turkey that the 23 Panthers unveiled this Friday will face. The two matches with several stakes.
These two friendly matches are really preparing matches where the result will not be important. That is not to say that if we were 1 or 2 months away from international matches, as these matches will continue to prepare them and prepare the team. Move some players from certain positions to see the performance in the preparation of a match.
The absence of Bruno Ekwelemanga, currently without a club, is to be noted. Yet his absence was compensated by the return of one of the team's key players, Didier Ibrahim Donk.
He logically returns to the national team. We can say that a mistake can happen. Then it's up to the national coach to take appropriate measures in relation to what happened. But he did not have a problem with him. He wasn't rejected from the group, and I had a decision to make because there was a fact. But today we are very happy, and even his teammates are very happy for his return to the national team.
With this selection, the Gabonese Panthers are back to friendly matches with the objective of getting the group well oiled before returning to the qualifiers for the next African Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire in 2023.
Okay, so I receive on this set Yan Akinenge from our sports newsroom. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully okay. Thank you for welcoming me.
Okay, so we just saw in the report that the Panthers are getting prepared, ready for the two friendly matches with Sierra Leone and Niger. The team, the 23 Panthers that were called, we have new, how can I say that? People coming, people left out. What can we say about the selection?
First of all, we have to say that this is actually one of the first time the Panthers gather since the qualifiers that we missed for the AFCON and joined with the World Cup. So we have now a team that is being built with newcomers, just like you mentioned. We have young players that are coming from overseas, and also we have to mention the fact that for the first time, like from a very long time, we have players playing in Gabon. In the national first division, we have two players who joined in. We have this young Donalze, and we also have Habitege who's in, coming from Stade Manji, coming inside. So this is just to show this openness that Patrice Neveu is having to build a new kind of a generation in this team.
Okay, I want to talk about. Okay, so I receive on this set Yan Akinenge from our sports newsroom. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully okay. Thank you for welcoming me.
Okay, so we just saw in the report that the Panthers are getting prepared, ready for the two friendly matches with Sierra Leone and Niger. The team, the 23 Panthers that were called, we have new, how can I say that? People coming, people left out. What can we say about the selection?
First of all, we have to say that this is actually one of the first time the Panthers gather since the qualifiers that we missed for the AFCON and joined with the World Cup. So we have now a team that is being built with newcomers, just like you mentioned. We have young players that are coming from overseas, and also we have to mention the fact that for the first time, like from a very long time, we have players playing in Gabon. In the national first division, we have two players who joined in. We have this young Donalze, and we also have Habitege who's in, coming from Stade Manji, coming inside. So this is just to show this openness that Patrice Neveu is having to build a new kind of a generation in this team.
Okay, I want to talk about one player that was called Didier Ibrahim Donk. We know he had some problems with with the leaders of the national team. Mm-hmm. Now he's back. Yeah. What can we say about it?
We have to mention the fact that Didier Ibrahim Donk is one of the most regular players when it comes to on the field. On the pitch, playing the game, is one of the best Gabonese players that we've ever had. There's something that we know. But though his attitude has always caused him a bit of trouble, not only in the national team. We've seen this abroad when he was playing for Dijon, when he was playing in England, in Sunderland. He always had a bit of problem with his mentality. We just hope that he grew up a bit, and then he had this as a lesson, being left out of the team. But now him being back is one of the main players that we have in this team. we just hope that we will perform very well with him, and he's going to lead the youngsters and to come up very good, because we have to acknowledge the fact that this is a generation that has changed. We have
because you're talking about he was going to lead the youngsters, but we had captain like Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and also Mario Lemina. They're not in the team. Do you think the team is stronger? Or maybe less strong without them?
But now we're going to have to base it on the matches that we'll see, because this is like a new generation that is coming during the AFCON, and we have players who performed very well without this Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Mario Lemina. We had a very good performance from the boys with the likes of Aaron Bupenza, with this Oyono, this Obiang, when Mario Lemina and Aubameyang were not there. But now we have Didier Bramdong who's coming in, and it's a new generation that is being built, because Aubameyang has retired. Lemina as well announced his retirement, a very early retirement, unfortunately, for the Gabonese Panthers. But then it's a new generation. We just hope that Patrice Neveu will build on the experience already acquired from players like Ibrahim.
In short, do you think we can make it? Can we win?
For sure. Our opponents, a team like Sierra Leone is a very we are able to take this opponent and beat them. In Nigeria also, these are teams that are just matches that are just preparing us from the big Asians that are coming in March.
Okay. Thank you, Akinenge. Hope to have you next month on our next edition of the G24 Newsroom.
For sure, I will be there. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, we have reached the end of this edition, as I said before, of the G24 Newsroom. You can still follow us on social networks. Don't forget, as I used to say, life is what you make it. Goodbye.